It was past midnight when the rain poured mercilessly over the city. The streets were nearly empty, the only sound being the rhythmic patter of drops hitting expensive car roofs and the faint hum of streetlights. Inside a black Bentley, billionaire Ethan Cole was returning from yet another charity gala, a night filled with false smiles, fake laughter, and people who only saw him as a wallet with legs. Ethan sighed, loosening his tie as he glanced out the window. Despite all his money, all his power, his heart felt hollow. His mansion was cold, his family long gone, and his nights were nothing but quiet reminders of how lonely success could be. Then suddenly, something caught his eye. Through the windshield, in the pouring rain, stood a little girl, barefoot, soaked, shivering. Ethan's driver gasped. "Sir, should I stop?" Without thinking, Ethan ordered, "Stop the car." The tires screeched slightly as the car halted beside her. Ethan rushed out, his expensive shoes splashing into muddy water. The little girl couldn't have been older than 7. Her long, tangled hair clung to her pale cheeks, and her small hands trembled as she clutched a torn teddy bear. Hey, it's okay," Ethan said softly, crouching down. "What are you doing out here, sweetheart? Where are your parents?" The girl looked up with frightened eyes that held more pain than any child should ever know. Her lips quivered as she whispered, "The boogeyman hurts me." Ethan froze. He blinked, trying to process her words. "The boogeyman?" She nodded, tears mixing with rain. "He comes every night, when Mommy's gone. Says if I tell anyone, he'll hurt her too." Ethan felt a chill deeper than the cold rain. Something inside him shifted, that instinct he had long buried under layers of business meetings and luxury. He gently took off his coat and wrapped it around her tiny frame. "Sweetheart," he said carefully, "can you show me where you live?" She hesitated, then pointed toward a narrow alley between old apartment buildings. Ethan followed, his driver trailing behind. The deeper they went, the darker it became. Cracked walls, flickering lights, and the faint smell of mold. The girl stopped in front of a rusted door. "He's inside," she whispered. Ethan's jaw tightened. He motioned for his driver to stay back and slowly pushed the door open. The apartment was a mess, empty bottles, dirty dishes, broken furniture. Then he heard a faint whimper from the back room. When Ethan stepped in, his heart nearly stopped. A man drunk, furious, was yelling at a woman cowering in the corner. The same little girl's mother? She had bruises on her arms, her face pale with fear. The moment the man noticed Ethan, he shouted, "Who the hell are you?" Ethan stepped forward, his voice low but powerful. "I'm someone who doesn't tolerate monsters." The man lunged toward him, but Ethan's driver quickly intervened, restraining him while Ethan called the police. The woman began to cry uncontrollably, clutching her daughter as sirens approached in the distance. Hours later, after statements were taken and the abusive man was handcuffed and dragged away, Ethan sat quietly beside the little girl in a hospital waiting room. The doctor said she'd be fine physically, but the trauma would take time to heal. The girl looked up at him again with those same sad eyes. "Is the boogeyman gone?" she asked softly. Ethan swallowed hard, his throat tight. "Yes, sweetheart," he said, brushing a tear from her cheek. "He'll never hurt you again." The mother approached him then, trembling. "Sir, I don't know how to thank you. We were trapped. I couldn't leave. He took everything from us." Ethan shook his head. "You don't owe me anything. Just promise me one thing, don't ever go back." She nodded, holding her daughter close. A few days later, Ethan couldn't stop thinking about them. He had more money than he could ever spend. Yet for the first time, he had found something worth investing in: hope. He arranged for the mother and daughter to move into a safe neighborhood, got the little girl enrolled in a good school, and helped the mother find work at one of his companies. Months passed. One sunny afternoon, Ethan visited the school's annual fair. Laughter filled the air, children running around with balloons and cotton candy. Then he saw her, the same little girl, now smiling, her hair neatly braided, her eyes bright with life. She ran toward him, calling out, "Mr. Ethan." She hugged him tightly. "Thank you," she whispered. "Mommy says you're our guardian angel." Ethan smiled a real smile, one he hadn't felt in years. "No, sweetheart," he said softly. "You're the angel. Reminded me what it means to care. as he watched her run back to her mother. Hand in hand, Ethan felt something he hadn't felt in a long time: peace. Moral message: sometimes heroes aren't born from power or wealth, but from compassion. The smallest act of kindness can destroy the biggest monster and bring light back into the darkest heart.